This might turn out to be one of those longer term projects. I've been given a projector, but it's not in the best of conditions. It smells with horrible damp, and in here we have an Aldis slide projector. It's got a 2-slide carrier there. The smell of damp is quite pervasive. Operation of the projector. Do not switch on the lamp except when about to project. Do not move above the projector until it has cooled down. So this is obviously a projector that people must have been borrowing and using, and if I had to guess, I would say that this was been in a school. 13 amp square pins plugs on mains lead need an adapter for 3-pin 5 amp lead as fitted to the projector lead now in use. So that is not true, I happen to know. It's been changed, but it dates the projector well into the 1960s, I think. One problem I noticed straight away, although it's not so bad now, but this lens was absolutely full of water when I first pulled it out. What's basically happened is I was given this the other day, and I couldn't take it straight away, so it's been sat on the radiator for a week drying out. I know there's a part missing. Okay, so this is the body of the projector. I mean, the mains cable is in a really bad state. There's rust coming through all over the place. This is a knob for adjusting the height. If we take the top off here, we can see more rust. The bulb does appear to be intact, which is good news. The lenses, so you've got a condenser lens there. I'm guessing it's a heat shield filter there. I'm not entirely sure what this lens is called. There's a fan in here which originally was a bit stiff, but again, when it was around the person's house, I was able to free it up a little bit. So the bulb looks okay, I think. Hard to tell, to be honest. So yeah, so we've got that. Put this back on. It's underneath that gives you the biggest concerns, which I will show you now. Okay, so it's underneath that the worst effects of damp appear to have worked their wonders. Like I say, this mains lead, you know, it's crusty. No, not good at all. Don't know how I'm going to end up doing it. Looks like it goes directly into this bulb holder here, so I might end up having to just put a junction box in, I think. But again, lots of rust on the motor, but at least it's freed up now. So there's a chance it might power up, I don't know. Little rubber feet actually don't seem so bad. Right, so what am I going to do with this thing? I don't know. I think the course of action to start off with is just put a bit of rust eater on it to get rid of the rust out of it. Maybe give it the once over bit of lacquer once the rust is out of it. Change the mains lead. What I have discovered is that there's a bit missing. I know that. That's supposed to go on there like that. And then there should be a tube sits in here, and then the lens sits about here. I think I've also got to get this lens apart, haven't I? Yeah, that might be job number one, actually, try and get this lens apart. Okay, so the lens is basically saying that it's an Aldis lens, star, anti-stigmat, 100mm, and it's an f 2.8. Still not clear how to get it apart. Oh, looks like we've got some pegs there, haven't we? Yes, that's going to have to be unscrewed, isn't it? Okay, I've managed to release this ring. I think it's moving a bit better now. There we are. Okay, so that lens went in like that with the curved on the outside, and that gets me into there, but I think there's still two lenses in there. How do you get that one out then? It turns out this inner collar is loose, so I'm going to try and unscrew that. Turn it around. Okay, so that gets me to there. Oh, everything's fallen out. So there's a lens on the top which is bored out over on the front. There's a collar. And is this two pieces of glass or is it one? I think there's two pieces of glass or one, I don't know. Right, well the lenses might have cleaned up rather well. Okay, I've tried cleaning up this with a bit of metal polish. I think that's probably about as good as I'm going to get without using a buffing wheel. Oh, it's not too bad, is it? Not too bad at all. Okay, I think I'll let this all dry out before I put the lens back together, and then I'll see if I can either find or purchase some rust eater to start work on the body of the projector itself. Okay, so what I've decided to do is to just de-rust this projector using this rust remover, and I'm hoping it's just a case of me brushing this in like I am now, and then just being able to wipe the rust away. I'm only going to do the exposed parts for now. I'm not going to go too much into detail about restoring its innards just yet, because my plan is at the moment to just do this, see if it powers up, and then I'm going to have to wait. Okay, so let me try and explain what I'm planning on doing with this projector. The projector uses a single slide interchange setup, so it's not very practical really for doing bigger slideshows. Maybe if you're doing a presentation with say 20 or 30 slides it might be possible, but if you want to spend a night going through your own personal collection of slides, it perhaps gets quite tedious to put them in one at a time. So therefore its usability is somewhat limited. However, I've remembered this projector, and it actually forms a rather key part of my childhood, in that when I was young, up to about the age of 8, I had a very bad eyesight condition, which meant that I couldn't really see much. I couldn't see blackboards and books, and couldn't play ball games and things because it was that bad, but it was not diagnosed. And then when I was 8 and did get diagnosed and I got glasses, I suddenly become fascinated by the school's
film strip shows that they used to have. I think it was on a Friday morning. And what would happen is they would have a reel-to-reel tape recorder go at the front of the room and playing a story. I seem to remember that the Tinderbox was quite a popular one. And then there was this roll of film that was put through the projector, one frame at a time, which displayed the story up on the big screen in bright colour. And it was quite fascinating to me about projectors, and it actually kick-started my interest in photography and projection and things in general. This is obviously before I'd been to the cinema and things like this. So what is interesting is that this projector is the projector which I fairly sure was used to actually show those shows. Now, although I don't have a film strip adapter, I've been on the internet and they are available for them. But I'm not going to buy the film strip adapter just yet, because the first problem I'm going to have is getting hold of an actual film strip. And although there have been some available, they tend to be a bit rich for my money. So the plan will be to try and get hold of a film strip. Once that happens, I will then I'll then buy the film strip adapter, and then I'll have to buy a lens, because obviously the lens is missing its adapter tube, so as it stands, the projector won't work anyway. But I think it's probably best to do it in that sequence, then I'm not throwing away money needlessly. If I can't get a film strip, because that's how I would like to present this machine in the future, as a film strip projector. Okay, so the rust heat is going on. Let's see what happens when it's set.
Well, I think that first coat's done quite well, but I think I'll give it another coat. I mean, you can still see some rust in here. What I didn't quite appreciate until doing this now is just how bad this section here is. It's all bubbled up, which I think kind of makes sense, because I think this was against the back of the case it was in, and the back of the case was quite damp. Wherever it had been stored, it must have had some quite considerable exposure to moisture. So I'll have to be very careful about rubbing this down. I might have to leave it, because I don't really want to repaint it if I can get away with it. It's a sort of a metallic green finish, and I'd like to keep its patina, there's a word. A big giveaway that it's a film strip projector is the fact that this entire assembly actually rotates around like that. So this I think would be the normal orientation, so that the top film, the film feed spool will be here, for example, and the film take-up spool will be here, and therefore the film, and that would be if film it was recorded in like a cinema format, where the pictures were across the film, as opposed to 35mm slide type photography, where the images would be along the length of the film, in which case it would need to be projected in that orientation. Okay, the possible grand finale. Just to show you, that's what a film strip would have looked like. So it's just a piece of film with a series of still frames on it, and to show them you would need this adapter like that, and that would go in place of this adapter. Now what I've got in here is a couple of slides. It just happened to be the first box I pulled out, and the first slide that's actually in there is the first slide I ever took, and the first 35mm image that I took. I have made a tube out of an old shampoo bottle and some gaffer tape. So the lens is in there. This is the lens I just cleaned, remember. So that might work. But basically I'm going to try and power this thing up. I know the cable's knackered and needs replacing, but it'd just be nice to see if, you know, what exactly would happen. I know the fan's turning, so that's good news. The resistance on the mains input looks about right. It's not a short circuit, it's about 15 ohms I think it was, which, considering there's a bulb in there that is cold, sounds about right to me, sort of. If I do power this thing back up again after this, I think I'll put a separate switch in so that I can switch the bulb out but leave the fan running. I think that'd be a sensible modification. Right, so what the hell's going to happen here, I don't know. It might just go off with a big bang. This is where you light the blue touch paper and stand well back. 3, 2, 1. Bloody hell, come on. Right, the fan's not turning. Right, let's see if I can free the fan up. Okay, test number 2. Whoa, fan's running. Is it going to get up to speed? Right, I think I better do this quick because I don't think I'm going to have long. Right, is the lens any good? Okay, there's possibly some issues with the lens, but I have a picture, it's nice and bright. The fan's getting faster and faster. So that's the first picture. There's the second picture. And there's the second picture. Right, definitely got issues with the lens. Have I put it back together in the wrong order, I wonder, or something like that? Or does it still have moisture in it? I don't know. Just for people who may or not have been interested, that was the Hispalina when it used to be on the Mia. It's not on the Mia anymore, it's now on the C. This fan's getting faster and faster, but I don't think I dare run it much longer. I think that's time to turn it off. Right, so I think when I rewire it, which I will, I'll do what I say. I'll put a separate supply to the fan on so I can run the fan without the bulb. And I think if I do that, I can probably run the fan for 10-20 minutes and give it a bit of lubrication and get that side of it working well before I then put the bulb back in. But it's good to know the bulb's a good one. Okay, I might have a slight issue with the lens still, but I can work my way through that. Other than that, it's just a question of, like I say, getting the film strip, getting the film strip adapter, and away I go. Aldis. Okay, a little bit of extra. I definitely put the lens back together the wrong way, so hopefully this time I'm going to get a focused image. And indeed that is absolutely perfect. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. So this would have been Scarborough, 1981. The Corona, which is now being renamed the Watchful, is in Hartlepool and is going to Dunkirk next year because this is one of the little ships. And there we go. That is the pirate ship that used to be on Scarborough Mere, but is now a sea-going boat. Does trips out to sea. Right, there we go. Excellent. So now I am truly happy. That is just waiting for the film strips to come available.